Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm Peter.
And I'm Elena.
And we are Retire Everywhere. Today we are talking about points and miles and how to use them.
Are we going to talk about that?
Yeah, that's what we said we were going to talk about.
Oh, you don't need me for that. We talk about that every day.
Well, that's true. I do talk about it every day.
You can do it yourself. See you.
Okay, now that she's gone, I can get on to talking about points and miles and loyalty like I was planning on it. But first I'm going to do some rearranging of the furniture. And I'm doing a video on my own about points and miles and brand loyalty within the travel game because we've been traveling for 3+ years and we have met lots of folks in this space who are retired or traveling extensively. And just because I used to travel for work and learned how to do the whole points game, I feel like there's something to share. And we've realized that a lot of people, while they may know about the points from other videos or from their own experiences, sometimes they really don't know kind of how and why. And there are a lot of people who really don't know anything about it. In fact, way too many people stay in these hotels, fly on these flights, and don't provide their information to get the points in the first place. And truthfully, you're just wasting money at that point because you're you're signing up for a loyalty program to earn the points. You're just giving them information that they've already got. You have to give them your name and passport and, driver's license and phone number and all that just to make a reservation anyway. So it's not like they get anything extra from you, and it's free. So I wanted to talk about the basics and kind of hopefully get you interested. I will be following on with more videos that dive into details about especially IHG's program and how we're using it for value, and other programs and other redemptions we've done. So hopefully it will provide you some food for thought, challenge you to try it out yourself, or maybe help you do even better than you're doing now. And if not, you might help in the community and share some of your knowledge with everybody else. So starting off, loyalty. Why do you want to be loyal to a specific brand, whether it's an airline, a hotel, or a credit card company? Well, because the perks you get for being loyal add up quickly. So, as we covered in the last video that Elena and I did on the lounge access with IHG is, you have to get up to a certain status, stay 40 nights in a calendar year, and then you can, select lounge access. And for us, because we travel full time and we're staying in IHG hotels for over 100 nights in the first part of this year, like we're going to use the heck out of that lounge access and save ourselves a ton of money on food costs. But beyond that, loyalty with an airline will get you upgrades, will get you free flights, will get you, faster boarding, more baggage, you don't have to pay for baggage fees and stuff like that. So, if you live in a city like a Chicago, you want to be loyal to, I'd say, United. If you live in Atlanta, like I did for a while, Delta. But whatever you fly most often, try to focus and get your loyalty up, so at least you get those free perks. Hotels are even better. If you can be focused on one, maybe two brands between the Hilton, Marriott, IHG, Hyatt. If you're in the States, I highly recommend Hyatt. If you travel internationally over to Asia, IHG. If you travel to Europe, Marriott and Hyatt are your best, and usually Marriott. So it depends where you go. But if you build up loyalty with a brand, you've seen, if you watch other videos, there are huge perks. You can earn bonus points, which means more free nights. You can get free parking and free stuff if you rent cars. You can get room upgrades, sometimes to nicer rooms, sometimes better views, sometimes suites. Really worth it. And then, like I said, when you hit certain levels and you become a platinum member or a diamond member, you get things like free food. With Hyatt, the top is globalist, and that gets you a whole bunch of great perks, and especially the free breakfast foot part or lounge access part. So now with lounges, you do have to stay in the hotels that have lounges, which is a small subset, but they tend to be really nice hotels. So when you can stay there and get that value, it's great food and it's real good value. So anyway, the other thing with being brand loyal is, especially with hotels, is they have these things called milestone awards. And really what it is every 10 nights that you stay in a hotel at that particular brand, they will give you an extra bonus. And I don't know about you, but I like extras. And they start off small when you hit 20 nights, but as you go up. And with IHG specifically, and we'll talk about the others, but on the screen here, you can see with IHG specifically, starting at 20, you can get, little gifts, 5,000 points or $40 worth of food and beverage. And it goes from there. But after you hit 40 nights and get your lounge access, now you're getting 10,000 points, which is for us pretty much a free night here in Asia. And at 40, you can get a couple of five food and beverage gift certificates. So that's $100 worth of food and beverage over the course of a year. And after that, at 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100, you can pick between the 10,000 points and the 5 food and beverage credits, except at 70, which is when you make diamond with IHG. And then you get to pick 2 things again. And so over the course of this year, as we get to 100 nights, which is going to happen in April, we are going to stay, 100 nights. We'll have all of these choices because you get 2 choices at 40 and 70. You get 10 choices. We will pick 5 of the 10,000 point bonuses. So 50,000 points, which can get us potentially maybe even a week of free nights in some place. We will get 3 suite upgrades, and we will pick at least 17 food and beverage credits. So, because we already have lounge access from last year, we don't have to pick that one. So you can see, we're talking $340 worth of food plus, 4, 5, 7 nights, maybe even more in free stays and 3 suite upgrades. So when we're staying with free at a place with points, we're getting moved up to a suite. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking those are some pretty good extra perks. Those aren't even things that you have to buy or anything. So that's why you want to do brand loyalty. Again, IHG here in Asia is great. Other parts of the world, it's good. Just depends on, especially if somebody else is paying for it, even better. So then the other question we get asked is, how much is a point worth? And it's really confusing because there isn't an answer. Everything is dependent on the company, the airline, the hotel, the credit card company that you're with, and they can change them. So hint number 2 is don't hoard points. If you are earning up thousands and thousands of points and you're like, I'm trying to get 1 million points in there so I can do, a special trip to the Maldives and stay in an overwater villa. And it's awesome. And it's, hundreds of thousands of points or millions of points you need. And you work hard for years to get those points, and then they devalue, they change. So instead of being 100,000 points a night, it's 200,000 points a night. And now you can't go on that trip for free. Maybe you can stay half the nights for free, and then you have to pay a bunch out of pocket. So if you're going to, do this, have some redemptions in mind, plan I've got a 2-week vacation coming up this year. I want to use points. I'm going to earn these points and use them this year. And you still aren't guaranteed they aren't going to devalue because they can do it anytime they darn well please, but at least you got to get rid of them sooner. So as I've said before in other videos, to us, hotels offer the best value because most of the money we spend in a month is on a place to stay and food in our bellies. The rest of the stuff we do is, less than 30% of it. And that includes all of our transportation costs and everything else. So we focus on the hotels, but we absolutely recommend if you live in a city or you fly a particular airline all the time, focus on that one. Try not to mix if you can help it, because getting a handful of points on a different airline does you no good. Hotels, same thing. Focus on 1, maybe 2 if you travel a lot, but spreading out again, you're just going to end up with a bunch of random points at some hotel you're never going to go to, because you don't have enough points to really make a whole vacation out of it. And who wants to spend 1 night for free? And then with credit cards, it's kind of up to you. I again recommend 1, maybe 2, banks that you focus on. So American Express is great for people who spend a lot of money on travel and dining. Chase is really good for people who have their own businesses and do the travel and dining as well. They're a step below Amex for that, but and some people argue with me depending on the card you get. But I'm not one who likes to spend $500 or $600 for a credit card annual fee. I'll spend $100 if I get the value back out of it. And one of the great things about credit card points is, you're earning them for spending on you'd already do. You're gonna pay your utility bills, your cell phone bill, you're buying stuff, groceries, dining out, whatever, anyway. So you might as well earn those free points with it. And then you turn around and use those for your vacation or something, or you can just use them to pay off part of your monthly bill. If you want to, you can pay your credit card bill with your points. It's not a great value. I don't recommend it unless you're just kind of cash stuck. But anyway, so moving on to earning and burning, as we call it in the game. So earning points, what do? Well, you stay in the hotels, you fly the flights, you spend on the credit card, and they give you these free points. You earn these points. Now, the key with that is if you're going to stay in a hotel brand, get the hotel credit card. So, if you're staying in a Hyatt, you get the Chase Hyatt card. If you're staying in IHG, Chase is also the IHG partner, so you get that card. Now, these cards are generally $100 per year, but at the end of every year, they give you a free night certificate that you can use for mid and lower tier level hotels. So, for us, that free hotel turns into $100 to $150 a night, sometimes more, free night. So that certificate pays for the credit card right there. So it's truly a no-brainer. Get the card if you're going to stay even one night in that hotel chain. I wouldn't go crazy and get every hotel chain card out there unless you travel a lot, but that's up to you. I own Hyatt, Marriott, and IHG cards, or I have them. I don't own them. But anyway, airlines, again, I don't use it, but if you're going to use United every time, get the United card. They have various cards, depends on what perks you need. If you carry big bags with you, get the one that, pay up for the one that has the free bag allowance. If you really care about going into airline lounges, maybe you spend the $400, $500 for the card that gives you club access. That's a you call. I don't find the value to be there for those things because, again, I'm at the airport for a couple hours. I'm on an airplane for a handful of hours, sometimes maybe 10 or 12. I just don't see the value of using my points for that because I don't earn them that easily. The other way that you can earn points is on the credit card spending. And a big part of that is getting the bonuses when you get a new credit card. So you sign up for a card, you have to spend several $1,000s in the first 3 months, and then they give you a pile of points. So, again, I'll use IHG as the example. You can sign up for the IHG card, spend $3,000 or $4,000 in the first 3 months. I can't remember what it is, this current offer. And they're giving right now 170,000 points, which if you used it over here in Asia, you might be at 2 weeks of free nights. If you use it in Europe, it might get you 3 nights. Just depends where you go. If you go to Tokyo, you might get 2 nights out of it, if that. So it depends where you go and when you go, but there is value to be had. And again, if you're getting the card and you're spending one night a year in an IHG and you use that free certificate, it doesn't cost you anything anyway. You get that pile of points and, if you don't use them, oh well. If you do use them eventually, great. If you use them soon, excellent. You got the value out of them. And then the other way you can earn points is actually to buy them. There are very few places where it makes sense to buy airline miles or points. So I'm not going to talk about that. And usually you'll only do that like if you're a few thousand points short or miles short of an award that you need and you don't have anything that can transfer over, then you just pay for those. Very rarely is that necessary. Very rarely is a good value. If anybody wants to talk about that, I'm happy to get into it, but that's an advanced topic. Not going there. Now, hotel chains are rarely a good value to buy points either. As IHG, you've heard us talk about it. We buy points from IHG every time we can, and we use them up right away, and we are getting tremendous value out of it. And I'll have an example about that one here in a minute. So now you earn points. How do you use them? And again, I'll back a step. When you earn these points, have a plan to use them because the one thing you do not control is the value of that point. Kind of like a stock in the market. Like you don't control how much that stock is worth. So you got to have your plans for what to do with it. In this case, if you are just accumulating points because you're using the credit card or, flying on those flights, you're just, that pile of points is only worth something when you redeem it and they control the value of it. So, you want 1 million points to go on a dream vacation. and then they change the value. So it's now 2 million points. Well, guess what? You're either taking half a vacation, paying the other half out of cash, or you're taking a shorter vacation. Either way, you just lost half your value. And that's not good. So don't save your points. I mean, except to save them for a specific reward that you're trying to get to. Set a goal, earn it, burn it. It's kind of what the mantra within the folks who do this a lot. Anyway, so using points. Flights, obviously, the best value you can get for flights is to use them for business class or first class flights over the oceans, because you'll pay anywhere from 50 to 100 and something thousand for saver awards. You can pay hundreds of thousands, even over 1 million points if you want, but then you're getting total crap value for those points. So, definitely want to use them when you can get the cheapest award. And again, I just don't find great value in it because my points are more precious to me. I don't earn that many. I tend to use them for shorter flights within a region that have a ridiculously high cost. Like to fly from Vietnam into Japan is $300, $350 for the two of us, sometimes more. This last flight I just booked was $500. I can use points to knock that price either out completely or down significantly, or transfer them to somebody and book the points. I booked a Vietnam Airways flight using Air France miles. So that tells you I've been playing the game a while.
You're still talking?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to say.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to do my nails then.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
What do you do? So with credit card points, you can do a couple of different things. Very seldom are those good value. You can pay part of your bill. So you buy something from Amazon and you can literally just wipe out that charge on your bill by using points for a penny a point. So $100 that you purchase can be wiped out with 10,000 points. If I can use those 10,000 points for a free night at a hotel, I probably can find better value. But still, it's kind of like cash back. Pretty good. You can get gift cards, you can buy things, you can book travel, you can do all these things with them through the credit card companies themselves, or you can transfer those points to an airline or a hotel and then use them over there. Generally, the best value is to transfer them, but the simplest is to just pay part of your bill or book some travel directly through the credit card companies. All right, so the examples I wanted to give you. First, when Elaine and I started traveling 3 years ago, we hopped on a Turkish Air flight from Houston to Istanbul for using points that I transferred from Capital One, 60,000 points per seat. So a business class seat on Turkish Airways is considered a very nice airline, very nice flight. It was. Comfortable bed, it lays flat, good amount of room, good food. Wasn't over the top crazy, wonderful, but it was still really nice. But it's a $5,000 ticket. So two of us would have been $10,000 to pay for that. And I never would, but that's a different issue. But still, you think 120,000 points for $10,000 worth of seats, over 8 cents a point. I said you could use those points for 1 penny a point to pay for something on your bill, or 8 cents for a Turkish Airways, business class flight. Great value. Again, I wish I could transfer those points to someplace else and use them for hotel stays, but I actually do use that sometimes to book hotels like boutique places when we're just going for a couple of days. Anyway, so, is it a good value? Yes, from a strictly dollars perspective, but I don't think 120,000 points for 12 hours in an airplane when we're mostly sleeping was really the best way to use those points for our lifestyle now. So the second example, we took Chase points, transferred them to Hyatt, as I mentioned. We went to the Grand Hyatt in Bali, Indonesia. Beautiful hotel, great pool, great amenities. Food was good, not amazing. And it cost, it was actually a really good value back then. It was 8,500 points at Christmas. So me personally, I consider that a steal. If that was in Hawaii, that same hotel in Hawaii would have been like 40,000 points a night. So, we were already in Southeast Asia at that time a couple of years ago. Worked out perfectly for us, except it was Christmas. Indonesia at Christmas is generally raining. So we had a lot of rainy days, but still it was warm. It was beautiful. Anyway, so we transferred over 102,000 Chase points and Chase is generally considered a little bit less than 2 cents a point. And, so we transferred 102,000 points for 12 nights. Those nights would have cost us over $200 per night. So that $2,400 plus would have been our bill in cash. And I value $2,400 in my pocket a lot more than 100,000 and 102,000 Chase points. So I was happy to do it. Not a great value, as some people would call it. But again, that hotel in Hawaii is $500, $600, $700, $800 a night easy. It's a beautiful place. So if you're going to go that direction, I do recommend it, just not in December. And then the last example is IHG, because that's what we live and breathe right now. We are just earning and burning and using points and buying points every week. And we are staying in some beautiful hotels because we have status now. It's worth spending more points to get into a nicer hotel and take advantage of the free food, because a free breakfast at a mediocre hotel is generally worth every penny you just paid, zero. Whereas a free breakfast in a hotel like this is worth, $10, $20, $30 on the street, depending on what city you're in. So if I went to a restaurant here for a Western style breakfast and had coffee and orange juice and, pastries and eggs and all this other stuff that I can get here, plus, drinks and stuff throughout the day, I'm spending a lot more than, $20 or even $30 a day in food. So that's why it's worth it to us. So we bought lots of points, but in this particular instance, we bought 168,000 points to use to book a Crown Plaza hotel in Kobe, Japan, so we could be there for the cherry blossoms next month. So this is a future booking. So we spent $840 at a half a penny a point to buy that 168,000 points for 12 nights. It's 14,000 points per night, meaning $70 a night worth of cash value that we paid. So that's the money going out of our pocket. Now, to buy the room in cash was only like $95 to $100, $120. And so we're not getting a huge value, but it is like 1.2, 1.3, maybe 1.4 cents per point for those nights. But again, we paid a half a penny a point. So really we're getting 2 to 3x value, which is good value. And then because we have status, because we have lounge access, we're going to end up in a really nice room, potentially a suite. We will end up with lounge access because it's a lounge hotel, and we will get free breakfast and free food and drinks throughout the day. And it'll easily save us in Japan $20, $30, $50 a day, depending on how many meals we stay and eat in. And as I mentioned before, this is a really nice hotel. It has all the extra perks with a really nice gym, a sauna, pools, and 7 different restaurants and bars. So if we feel like we need to go and get a burger at the pool or go to the sushi restaurant or the Chinese restaurant in the building, and we put it on a room charge, we can use those food and drink certificates we get for our milestone awards to wipe that off the bill. So our cash out of pocket shouldn't exceed the $840 unless we get like a spa treatment. And, now we're getting thousands of dollars worth of value eating there and everything else. Plus we're there in one of the peak seasons of the year. I mean, this is a bucket list for us, going to the cherry blossoms. So hope those helped you. Hope it gives you kind of an idea of what kind of value you can get for the various points and why you should sign up. But if you do get those points and you can build up and you have loyalty, now you're talking excellent value. As I like to say with IHG, we're getting 2, 3, 4 times what we spend to buy the points. And the points we get for free as bonuses, of course, it's infinite. Take advantage of it. Please, if you have any questions or comments or information you can share, if you disagree with me, great. Please comment. Helps us out a lot. I'm always willing to learn where I'm missing out on something. And lots of people who are watching this, hopefully, who will learn from this as well. And if you like the video, like and subscribe. Also look for Elena's videos that are coming out about our hotels and the cities we're visiting. She's working on those, but they're a lot harder to do. And then obviously we'll have our retirement focused videos that we put out every week as well. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something. Please comment, ask any questions. Happy to help.
Are you still talking?
Just finishing up.
Oh, wow. I'm sure he can make more of this. He's been talking for hours.
Take
See you in a bit.
care. Bye.